Okay, so what is stage fright? I made sure that I did this. Stage fright is a collection of stories that you tell yourself in your brain, whether it be one or 1,000. It translates into one final thought. What I'm about to do is scary. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to me like in 1994. So I was performing with the Buffalo Philharmonic for the Fort Erie Friendship Festival, and I was singing the Canadian and U.S. anthems, and there was thousands of people. So this was back in the day when the Friendship Festival was like really big down at Mather's Arch. So anyway, I got asked to do this, and it's kind of a big honor to do that, right? So I go out, and the Buffalo Philharmonic is behind me, and I get on stage, and there's thousands of people there, and the Philharmonic started, and they were playing the song in F, and I started to sing it in C. It was completely terrible. I went running off stage in the middle of a performance in front of thousands of people. And there was a man named Ben Vereen who was there. And Ben Vereen, back in the day, was a dancer extraordinaire, entertainer, singer man. And he grabbed me and he said, "It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So get back out there and do this." And I was like, "There's no way I'm going to do this." I just embarrassed myself in my hometown in front of thousands of people. But you know what I did? I went back out, and it wasn't how I started, it was how I finished it. And I finished the song, and everybody was like super proud of me. That was this moment in my life that I was like, I'm never gonna sing again. So it took me a really long time to get past the snap, crackle, and pop in my head that would say to me, "You can't do this. You're going to screw it up. You're going to go back out there and you're going to forget the words, or you're not going to sing in the right key." Can everybody relate me on this? That's here. Shake your heads if you can. I don't know if you guys know that I used to work for L'Oreal Canada, and I was a platform artist. And I would travel all across Canada and do major hair shows. So one of the things I had to do was perform techniques on stage, like foiling and doing color and things like this. And we were in the Toronto Convention Center, and it was my very first show. And the CEO of L'Oreal, like all of the head VPs of L'Oreal Canada were there, people from Montreal. So I get on stage. I'm just about to start my segment, and all of a sudden, a pigeon pooed right on the top of my head, And there's like $70,000 Jean-Paul Gaultier gowns behind me. And the only price in this whole Toronto Convention Center, there was pigeon poo, was on the top of my head. Do you know what I did? I kept going. One of the things I learned about performance is no matter what happens, just keep singing, right? So Abby, what did you do? You just kept playing, you bent down, you picked up your pick, and you kept playing, right? So it doesn't matter what happens. You just got to keep going. I was always told that, like, we have this fight or flight thing inside of us. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the things that, well, it's a couple of things. The stories that inside your head have like variation of things that can happen. You say to yourself, this is why I call it snap, crackle, and pop, the Rice Krispies. You know, those little guys that are bouncing around inside your head? Call them the Rice Krispies. So the things you might say to yourself is, I'm not confident in my voice. Or another thing would be, what if I make mistakes and people will make fun of me? What if I forget the lyrics? What if I don't hit the high note? What if my voice cracks, right, Haley? What if my voice cracks? That's one of her things. Oh, I got voice cracks. Or it happens. Voice cracks happen, and it's okay. Some people would say, What if people hate me and they boo me off stage? I've thought of that. I've had that thought in my head. And then what if nobody shows up to my show? What if people don't want to see me perform? Like, these are things that kind of go through your head. And there's a lot of reasons that people might have stage fright. But what's important for you is that it's all in our minds. Like, there are a lot of things to be afraid of, like falling off a cliff or your car breaking down. Performing in front of people is something you should fear. So, with a shake of your heads, has anyone heard an acronym for what fear stands for? Anyone? No, nothing? Forget everything and run. That's what fear stands for me. I forget my lyrics, I forget everything, and then I want to run and hide and shove my head into the sand because I'm embarrassed. And that's the thing, it's like this thing is going to be scary for me. So we kind of talked about what stage fright and how it manifests itself in physical. I yawn when I'm nervous. Does anybody yawn when they're nervous? Anyone? No? Maybe it's just me. So if you guys ever see me yawning my face off, that means I'm like, I have to do something special. Okay, so there are things that happen. You get sweat palms, you get a dry mouth, your throat will tense up, your heart rate starts to go, your brain is like racing all over the place, and sometimes you feel like you might want to throw up. That happens. Does anybody ever throw up when they're nervous? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Very good. So your brain is this extremely powerful thing, and all it'll do is it'll work itself up. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys is to define how you're feeling and not to let how you feel define you. Does that make sense? Anyone shake their heads? Shake their heads. Aaron down there, does that make sense to you? How I feel does not define who I am. So if you're saying to yourself, I am scared, or I am this, or I have anxiety, or I am not good enough, or one of the things I would love for you to try to do is to say, I feel scared, instead of saying that you are scared. Because if you say that you are something, that means that you're labeling yourself as being this. And if you feel scared, your feelings can be addressed. So if you bring this to the forefront of your mind, I feel scared. The opposite of feeling scared is feeling confident, right? Thumbs up? Okay. The opposite of I feel nervous is I am calm. So I'm trying to get you guys to identify what the feelings are inside of you and then find a positive opposite of that. So when I do that, I feel scared, but I am confident. I feel nervous, and then I am calm. The other thing is when people feel anxious, rather than it being this negative, like anxious to me is a negative feeling. So instead of saying that you're anxious, you're feeling eager. Is that a good way to say my anxiety is feeling eager? I'm eager to do whatever it is that I need to do. Is that something that you guys could say to yourselves? If you acknowledge that you're feeling anxious, you could instead say that you're feeling eager? Yeah? Awesome. And another thing is, stage fright also comes from feeling unprepared. So if I feel unprepared, I can change it and say, I am ready to rock and roll. so we can change the way we think around things. Because our mind will just start racing and it'll go crazy. So one of the step one, what time is it here? Step one for me is preparation and practice. Everybody thumbs up, practice. Practice, practice. Yeah, yeah. Aaron, practice. Sylvia, practice. Abby, practicing. Everybody. Yeah, Morgan's practicing. Preparation is so important. So if you practice with a purpose, rather than practicing just to practice, it will help you. So one of the things I like to do is I like to practice in front of my camera. So I'm like, hey, this is me. This is what's happening. This is the sound of my voice. I'm connecting with my voice. I think it sounds funny, but it's okay because it doesn't sound like this to other people. So what I hear sounds different than what other people hear. And I wanted to also say that change comes from being uncomfortable. Do we all agree with this? So if you're over prepared, there's no possible way that you cannot be prepared. Right? Does that make sense? So if you practice, then you have confidence because you know what you're doing. And then if you record yourself, yeah, Avery's giving me thumbs up. If you record yourself and watch the playback, promise me that you will not judge yourself. No judging. Because that doesn't do anything positive for yourself. So the second step is to repeat what you're doing over and over and over and over and over so it gets embedded in your head. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I got hit by a truck when I was 14, and I have a little bit of a thing in my brain. So even if I have the lyrics in front of me, I still forget them. So you can be as prepared as you want, but sometimes things still happen. It just happens. You forget lyrics. People do it all the time. So don't be so hard on yourself. The other thing is, number 3, what I was going to say is, ask your friends and family if you can perform for them. I want you to drive them bonkers. Sing for them, sing in the stores, sing wherever you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing, because you need to let them know that singing in front of them is going to help you get better. It's going to help you. So you also have to remember that the audience, your friends and family, are not there waiting for you to make a mistake. They're not there waiting for you to humiliate yourself. They're there to support you. They want to help you get over your fears. They're your friends and they want to see you succeed. So this will help you get over stage fright by singing. Grab the cat. Sing to the cat. Sing in the shower. Sing to the birds. Go talk to a tree. Sing, like look at yourself and sing in the camera. It will help you. Even be silly. So the last thing, my last little fact that I would like to also say is, if you guys have noticed me and you've known me for a little while, Ella doesn't know me very well, but that's okay. But everybody else knows me. I'm a total goofball. When I perform, I really like to have fun, because I don't take myself really seriously. And even though what we're doing is serious, like you have to remember that your audience is there to connect with you. They're there to be entertained. They want to have fun, right? You don't want to sit there and look at this person that's like completely terrified, like a deer caught in the headlights. So I'm hoping that I watch you guys. I want to see you guys having fun. That's my main thing. And if you bring the mind, if you bring the body, the mind will follow. If you bring good intentions to whatever it is that you're doing, you will eventually, even if you make mistakes, smile, laugh. That's what I do. I totally make fun of it, because what are you going to do? The moment is gone. Everything is past, and you can't get that performance back, right? So why be so hard on yourself? The other thing I wanted to say is that 9 times out of 10, our thoughts about ourselves didn't actually come from ourselves. Does that make sense? Some of the things inside your head you didn't choose for yourself. Like, you came out of your mother into this world and you didn't even get to choose your own name. So one of the things I had about me is that somebody said to me, I was like 7 or 8 years old, "You never finish anything you start, so I don't know why you bother." I didn't choose that thought about myself, but for a really long time, I set myself up for failure every time something, because I thought, well, what the heck? I never finish anything I start anyway, so why even bother? I didn't choose that thought about myself. But you guys have a choice. You can choose to go right through your fears, challenge yourself, and grow. How did you learn how to walk? How did you learn how to run? How did you learn how to pick your nose? Because you practice. You pick your nose and you practice. It's the same thing as everything. You learn, you grow, you fail. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you clean off your vocal cords, and you sing again. I took a long time to relearn how to sing because I had my tonsils out, like 3 years ago. So at 43 years old, I had to relearn how to sing. Do you know how terrifying that is? Can anybody guess how terrifying that would be? Because my voice changed, and the way that I used to sing didn't work anymore. So I thought I was going to have to pack it all in because I couldn't sing anymore. But because I love to do it so much, I relearned how to sing, and I've been in singing lessons for almost 4 years now. And how important it is to do that. Have the confidence. That's another thing, is just having confidence in what you're doing. I guess I'm going to end it by saying, no matter what happens, just keep singing. Keep facing your fears and go through it. That's why I had challenged myself on my Facebook page about doing like a one-take challenge by not doing it perfect and just singing and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable. So I'm hoping that moving forward, everybody can just have that little, it's good to shake. It's good to be scared, because then you challenge yourself to move forward. So I hope that you guys enjoy performing. And when I ask you, how are you feeling today? I want you to express to me how you feel and connect with yourself and how you feel. I also had somebody message me because they couldn't come on to the webinar, but they had said to me that one of the reasons that they have stage fright is because they don't want to give someone an opportunity to judge them. So we have this like unconscious thing going through our minds saying, I don't want to put myself out there because someone's going to say I suck. Someone's going to say that was terrible. But you have to get to the point where you can know within yourself that what you're doing is good for you. If it makes you feel good, do it. I sing because I love it. Some people like how I sing, some people don't. But I think I find myself very entertaining. So I'm going to keep singing. And if people don't like my voice, then they don't have to listen. And that's okay. Right? Right, Avery? The Music Depot is probably the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me appreciate the connections that music allows you to have with people. You know, and Becky, when I first started, Becky got up and did an open jam, and I was like, who's this girl? Oh, yeah, she works here. There's Becky, and she's singing her face off, doing your thing, and everybody's just doing their thing. Sylvia gets up, plays guitar, everybody's doing their thing. I just hope, Ella, that I see more of you in the open jams, because I think you're great. All of my girls, I think you're all amazing. And I'm so proud and honored to be part of this. And there's so much more that we could talk about stage fright and, you know, how we can deal with it. So if anybody has like more questions of things that we can do, I have this all, like, I can send you a copy of it so you can print it out at home. Because it's actually really, really, really helpful. How does everybody feel about this? Do we feel connected? Do we feel like we can face our fears a little more? Even if you throw up in your mouth a little bit when you're nervous, it's okay, it happens. I've done it. And then I got pooped on by a pigeon. Woohoo! Yeah, Ella, I got the thumbs up. Yeah, Avery.
Well, that's good luck to get pooped on.
I'm going to wrap this up, and you guys know where to find me. Right? I know. I got pooped on my shoe the day of my wedding, so that was great too. I got lots of luck. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me do this. And if you have any more questions or anything, like, message me or we'll talk about it in our lessons. And I hope everybody benefited a little bit. The whole point for me of this was to have each of you guys can all see each other. Each of you guys know that you're scared and you're scared and you're scared. It's a normal thing. And if you just keep going through it, like I've been doing this, I could open my mouth. I've been singing and performing. I've had the worst of worst things happen and the best of the best things happen. But becoming part of the Music Depot family has been my biggest awesome musical accomplishment. So, and who's crying? I'm starting to cry now, so and I'm gonna have dinner. So thank you for listening, thank you for sharing, and I'll see you guys next week, right?
Thank you so much, Annie.
Great idea. Thank you.
Are you crying, Morgan? Oh my God, Morgan's too.
Love you.
Choked me up.
Okay, thanks guys. Love you. Bye.